Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Cemetech Minecraft Server. I am Kerm Martian, and you are in the town of Monument. Today I'm going to be showing you around my new slime farm. So I have created a new slime chunk based slime farm with two separate units. You saw the basics of it in my last video where I was just showing you around my skyscraper. Since then I've gotten a lot of work done on it. I've made a second chamber. I have totally changed the way that it harvests items, and I will show you around today. So let's jump down and take a look. Alrighty, now we are down on the floor of my skyscraper. Near the very beginning of the current iteration of the Cemetech Minecraft server, I found an ocean monument out in the northern ocean, about 500 or 700 blocks from spawn. I cut out a 5 chunk by 5 chunk or 80 by 80 block area, first removing all of the water in that area, cutting down the ocean monument, fighting with the guardians, moving the other guardians, and then digging out underneath all the way down to level 7 or 6 really. I then started building things up. So I have the frame of a skyscraper, which you saw in my previous video. Today I am showing you the slime farm that I built down in the basement. So this is a chunk-based slime farm, which means I found that I had 2 slime chunks, probably more. I knew that I had them because I kept getting some slime spawning all over the place when I had my excavation here before I managed to actually build anything here. In fact, you can see that as I am just walking around staring at this, that slimes have been falling off of those platforms inside each box and going towards the center. There are floors every 4 blocks, and those floors are exactly 1 chunk large. So those are 16 blocks by 16 blocks, and those gray slab floors there, those are the 16 by 16 block pieces, are exactly covering 2 side-by-side chunks. Well, 2 chunks with a 1 chunk space in the middle. Those are my 2 slime chunks. If you want to find your own slime chunks, you could do things like cutting out empty areas on which slimes can farm. So that has to be below layer 40, above the bottom of the map, and then it has to, ideally you want at least a 3 by 3 by 3 block space so that the largest slimes can spawn. If you have a bigger area, you have an even higher probability that the slimes will actually spawn inside that chunk, so it'll be faster to see where you have slime chunks. So what happens is the slimes spawn on one of those platforms, and I'm going to have to climb up here so I can actually show you what's going on. Once they spawn, there is no water on those platforms to wash them off, so we need some way to get them off. The way I'm currently doing that is, besides relying on their just random ability to jump around, is that I have some Iron Golems down there. Now, slimes will try to go towards Iron Golems to attack them. So, whoop, this is eventful. The slimes will move towards the edges of these platforms and jump towards these Iron Golems in the center. Climb back up and try that again. See if that skeleton won't try to attack me once more. Where was it anyway? Aha, okay. I don't think so. Alrighty. So, the slimes will jump off of any of those platforms and end up with this water flow. The water flow is kind of extraneous here. You don't really need it because they will try to go towards these Iron Golems anyway. Once they get to this empty area without any water, they will continue to go towards the Iron Golems until they hit this fence here. At that point, they'll be on these Magma blocks. Now, these Magma blocks, new in 1.10, make this design particularly good because they will injure mobs, in this case the slimes, but they will not destroy items. So previously, I had a tower of, well, 3 stacks of cactus, 3 2-block stacks of cactus, that the slimes would run into as they were trying to run towards these Iron Golems. Now I don't need that anymore because the Magma blocks will damage them, and the items from when they are killed will just fall onto those Magma blocks. They're not currently spawning because you have to be at least 24 blocks away from the area where a slime is spawning for them to spawn, so you can't see that in action right this second. But let me jump down a little bit and show you what happens after those slimes die. So underneath, I have a hopper card. In fact, let me walk up there so you can see a little bit more detail. So, excuse the motorcycles outside. Oops. Alrighty. So I have a hopper cart track that runs all the way around under here, going first underneath the magma blocks on one farm and then underneath the magma blocks on the other farm. And occasionally this hopper timer that's above, in between those two iron golems, will send a hopper cart running around. It'll be able to pick up the slime balls that have fallen, and if any other mobs have somehow spawned in there, although that shouldn't be possible with the light level in there, those will also be killed on the magma blocks. The cart will then travel underneath, and its hopper will pick up whatever blocks or whatever items are on top of those blocks and deposit them in this chest here. So you see that I have some gunpowder from when creepers spawned, because I had not finished lighting up the inside of those spawning chambers yet. I have some rotten flesh for the same reason, and the remainder of these are all slime balls with some slime blocks that I've blocked up just to save space in there. And this is purely automatic. It'll just keep spawning. Ooh, I hear one up there actually. Slimes, killing them, and collecting their items. I plan to eventually have a very large sorting mechanism down here, so you'll be able to sort out. Aha, here comes the slime. We can see this in action now. Sort out all the items, and since it's going to be down here anyway, these slimes will be ending up right where they need to be to provide items to fit into that sorter. So you can see that this very large slime is jumping on those magma blocks, trying to reach the Iron Golem. Eventually it dies and splits into multiple slimes. Those do the same thing, jump on the magma blocks and die. And eventually we'll get down to just the little ones, which will jump and die. And now we have slime balls. Now we have to wait for this hopper timer right here to tick over and send the cart along. There we go. I think that may not have been the cart. Oh, yep, there it goes. And the items have disappeared. And they have gone into that central chest. Let me see if I can make this jump. That's pretty much all you have to know. If you're going to build something like this yourself, I think the only other note that I would give you is that you need to make sure that the walls here are far enough away from those 16 by 16 spawning platforms that even the largest slimes can fall. So I made that a 1, 2, 3. Yes, that is correct. It needs to be a 3-block wide space so that the 2.5 meter wide large slimes, the 1.5 meter wide medium slimes, and the 0.5 meter wide small slimes can all fall. It might be 0.6 or 0.7, but anyway, they're less than 3 meters wide. So as long as all of your spaces are 3 blocks or larger, 3 meters or larger, then those slimes will be able to fit, and they'll be able to get to these iron golems. One optimization you might want to add, if you have the entity count to support it, if you don't really worry about having too many iron golems. I was a little bit worried because I wanted to make sure that my iron farm up there would continue to work. But you can put extra iron golems near the top here in order to coax slimes off the top platforms down to the bottom. I believe there is a 32 or 64 block radius inside which slimes will be attracted to iron golems. Outside they may not be. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to post in the comments. If this video was helpful to you, again, please feel free to let me know. Let me know any improvements. Like the video if it was helpful. And if you are interested in things Minecraft, Train Simulator, graphing calculators, or electronics, I hope you will subscribe to my channel. And at any rate, I will see you in the next video.